Today, you can see your face anytime in a mirror, on your phone, in a car window, in an elevator, in a black screen before a video loads. Sometimes you do not even choose to see it. It just appears. Your face is always available. But for most humans who ever lived, your own face was not a daily object. You had a face. Everyone else saw it. But you almost never did, which is strange because your face is one of the most important things about you. It tells people if you are angry, if you are sick, if you are scared, if you're old, if you're lying badly. Your face is basically your body's little billboard. But for most of human life, that billboard mostly faced other people, not you. So before mirrors, how did people know what they looked like? The obvious answer is water. A still pond, a dark bowl, a wet, shiny rock, a calm surface after rain. If the light was right and the water was still enough, you could see something. But that is not the same as having a mirror. Water does not give you your face. It gives you a ghost version of your face. Move a little and it changes. Wind blows and your nose disappears. The water gets dirty and suddenly you have no eyes. The light shifts and your whole face becomes a weird ancient soup. So yes, water could reflect you, but it was not reliable. It was not waiting in your bathroom. It did not have good lighting. It did not say, here you are, please judge yourself for 10 minutes. It appeared. It moved. It broke. And then it was gone. That is the first strange thing. Before mirrors, your face was not something you checked. It was something that briefly happened. Now compare that to today. You wake up, there it is, you brush your teeth. There it is, you open the front camera by accident. There it is from the worst possible angle, like a punishment from the gods. Modern humans do not just see their faces, we monitor them, hair, skin, teeth, smile. Do I look tired? Do I look normal? Do I look like I slept or like a haunted potato? That is new. Not completely new, but very, very intense. Because before good mirrors, seeing yourself clearly was not easy. And this is where the answer gets more interesting. Humans did not simply sit around waiting for bathroom mirrors to be invented. They used anything reflective: water, shadows, polished stone, shiny metal, dark glassy surfaces. And very early, some people made actual mirrors. Some of the oldest artificial mirrors were made from polished obsidian. Obsidian is volcanic glass, dark, sharp, shiny. If you polish it enough, it can reflect a face. Not like a modern mirror, more like a mysterious black circle saying, maybe this is you. Archaeologists have found rare Neolithic obsidian mirrors in central Anatolia, places like Çatalhöyük, that is in modern-day Turkey, which is already wild. Thousands of years before bathroom lighting and selfie cameras, someone was polishing volcanic glass hard enough to make a human face appear. But here's the trap. Do not imagine every ancient person waking up, grabbing their obsidian mirror, checking their hair, and saying, perfect, time to hunt. No, these were rare objects, special objects, difficult objects, probably not casual, everyday objects for everyone. So the real question is not, did mirrors exist? The real question is, who actually got to see themselves clearly? Because a mirror is not just technology, it is access. If you have one, your face becomes available. If you do not, your face stays partly hidden from you. And that means for most humans, most of the time, their own face was not fully theirs to inspect. Other people knew it better than they did. They saw your expressions. They saw your smile. They saw your angry face. They saw your tired eyes. They saw your scars. They saw you slowly getting older. You felt your face from the inside. They saw it from the outside. That is a completely different way to exist. Today, your face feels private. You check it alone. You fix it alone. You judge it alone. You take a photo, hate it, take another photo, hate that one too, then somehow choose the first one. Very advanced civilization. But before mirrors, your face was more social. It lived in other people's eyes. If you wanted to know how you looked, you probably learned it indirectly, from reactions, from touch, from comments, from someone staring too long, from someone laughing, from someone saying, Joyce, you look tired, which might be the oldest mirror in human history. Just another person saying something slightly rude. And this is the midpoint. Before mirrors, people did not have no identity. That would be stupid. They knew who they were. They had names, voices, bodies, scars, skills, families, enemies, stories, places they belonged. They knew themselves through life, but their own face was not constantly staring back at them. The self was not missing. The selfie was, and that changes the whole topic. Because when people say before mirrors, they usually imagine a simple problem. How did they see their face? But the deeper problem is, how often did they need to? Think about that. If your face is not available every morning, you probably do not inspect every tiny change. You may know your body by pain, by strength, by hunger, by scars, by what your hands can do, by how other people respond to you. but you do not live with a high resolution image of your own face following you around. You do not have a front camera waiting in your pocket like a tiny judge. You do not see yourself from the outside 50 times a day. That is not a small change. That changes what appearance feels like. Later, mirrors became more crafted: metal discs, polished surfaces, objects with handles, objects you could hold. In ancient Egypt, mirrors could be made from copper alloy. Some were personal objects, some were placed with the dead, some were decorated with symbols connected to beauty, protection, and meaning. So a mirror was not just a tool, it could be status, care, ritual, beauty, power. Because the moment you can hold a mirror, you can turn yourself into something visible. You can look at yourself as if you are another person. And that sounds normal now, but it is deeply strange. Most animals do not live like that. Even human babies do not instantly understand mirrors. At first, the reflection can seem like another face. Then slowly, the brain learns, wait, that is me. That movement is mine. That mark is on me. That face belongs to this body. A mirror is not just showing light. It is training a brain to see itself from the outside, which makes mirrors one of the strangest objects humans ever made. Not because they are magical, because they are too normal. They quietly split you in two. There is the you who is living, and the you who is watching the you who is living. That sounds dramatic. But you do this every day. You look in the mirror and adjust your face, not your hair, your face. You practice a smile. You check if you look angry. You check if you look tired. You check if you look like the person you think you are. The mirror turns your face into a project. And then modern life made the project portable. The mirror is not only on the wall anymore. It is in your pocket. It is in your camera. It is in video calls. It is in profile pictures. It is in every selfie you take and delete. It is in every little screen that turns black for half a second and suddenly shows you a creature from below. Today, your face follows you. You do not need a calm pond. You do not need polished obsidian. You do not need rare metal. You need one board second and a front camera. And there you are again, looking at yourself, judging yourself, correcting yourself, trying to look like yourself, which is already a weird sentence. And this is the modern mismatch. Ancient humans struggled to see their face clearly. Modern humans struggled to stop checking it. For most of history, your face was partly hidden from you. Now it is almost impossible to escape. And maybe that is why mirrors feel invisible. We use them so often that we forget what they did. A mirror does not just show you what you look like. It creates a second version of you, the one doing the looking and the one being looked at. Before mirrors, your face was mostly part of life. After mirrors, your face became something you could study, then improve, then compare, then dislike, then photograph, then edit, then post, then check again and again and again. So what did people do before mirrors? They used water, they used shadows, they used polished stone, they used metal, they used whatever surface could throw a small piece of themselves back. But most of the time, they probably knew themselves in other ways, by the sound of their voice, by the feel of their body, by the work of their hands, by scars, by pain, by memory, by the people who knew them, by the way others reacted when they walked into a place. Their face was still theirs. It just was not always in front of them. And maybe that is the strangest part. Before mirrors, people did not have no face. They had a face that lived more in the world than in reflection, more in other people's eyes, more in touch, more in memory, more in what they did. The mirror did not simply show humans their face. It made the face something humans could inspect. And modern life took that inspection and turned it into a habit. So maybe people before mirrors were not missing themselves. Maybe they were missing one very specific modern problem: being trapped in front of your own face.